time? What if impossible isn't fact? What if it's opinion? And what if I don't buy it? What if this new world means that existence starts with me? What if I can be the one people look up to? What if my past got me here but has no effect on where I can go? What if every single day is a fresh start? What if I can be the one who defies the odds? What if my dreams become the standard? What if my ideas change how people see reality? What if the term difficult is nothing more than a cop-out? What if my doubters ignite the flame that is my success? What if my fear of mediocrity overcomes my fear of the unknown? What if second place is no longer an option? What if I make the choice to live every second of my life like it's a miracle? And what if that's exactly what every second is? What if it's time to start living like it? To start thinking like it? To never sell myself short? What if nothing good happens until I believe it? What if I stopped wasting my time trying to convince others? Because I am the only one who must be convinced.
All right, video. Thanks for that one. We're going to do some introductions. We've had a lot of people start and new people in jobs. And Scott Teese is going to come here and introduce insurance.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I think everybody knows, but if you don't, that we brought some Chick-fil-A in the back to celebrate our new hires. So Rita, come on up. Give her a hand, everybody. Give her a hand. There you go. So Rita Herrera is our brand new insurance producer. She's working with her buddy, Jackie Mejia, up on third floor. And we are one of your core services partners along with mortgage and with title here to provide insurance coverage for your home buyers. So Rita, I want you to say a few words about yourself.
Hello, guys. Nice to meet you, all of you. Like he said, my name is Rita. I just relocated back to Omaha after about 20 years of being gone. I've been back for about 2 years from Texas. I went to school in Valley, go Terriers. I think it's like DC West now or something. It's not even Valley anymore. But I'm 43 years old, have a 6-year-old daughter that's going on 25. And I have 10 plus years experience with insurance, and I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you guys.
All right. Thank you. She said she was really nervous. That was pretty good. So excellent. Just wanted to take a minute or two just to remind you what we do. We're an independent insurance agency that's wholly owned by our company, Home Services. So we offer a multitude of carriers and coverages for your home buyers, not just home insurance, but auto insurance, rental properties, all those things. I will say that right now is a really good time to be talking to us, to be talking to Jackie and to Rita about not only your own policies, but also policies for your buyers. Did anybody see that report about State Farm's losses last year? No one? $6.2 billion of that was their profit last year. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Their profit was negative $6.2 billion. Biggest loss in their company's history. Okay. I don't think they're going to make that money up by firing Patrick Mahomes and stop making commercials and all those things. They're going to make it up on the backs of their clients. And when that happens, their clients have nowhere else to go. They can just remove a coverage, increase the deductible, whatever the case may be. It's not very consumer friendly. Our options are multiple carriers with multiple different coverages and options. And not only when they work with Rita and with Jackie, they will get that experience of having them look around at all those different companies for them. So I would really encourage you to take the time to send your buyers their way. All we ask for is the opportunity. There's no pressure to buy or anything. We just want to give them the opportunity to show them what we can do to save them a little bit of money and get them some really good coverage for that home insurance purchase. So any questions? Comments, concerns? All right. Yes.
Is it just Nebraska or Omaha? Can it be in other states?
These two are both licensed in Iowa as well. And then Home Services Insurance is all over the country. So I'm actually from Minneapolis, and I run a Midwest territory, but we have insurance agencies in every home service real estate company across the company. So if you got a home in Florida or Arizona or somewhere like that, we definitely have the capability of writing down there too. Good question. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks for having us this morning. Really appreciate it.
I just got a quote from my soon-to-be 16-year-old to drive, and State Farm has found a path back to profitability. And it's clearly through us. Maggie.
Yeah, so today I'm going to introduce Elise and Josh, who are going to be overseeing IT and marketing. Clearly, the first thing I taught them was how to take a day off. Joke. I was going to roast them, but I thought I'd roast myself. Anyways, Elise is going to be our marketing manager. She's going to be overseeing Shy, and we are also backfilling for a graphic designer. So that person has been identified and will be starting May 1st. So we should be able to help with all of those marketing requests. The nice thing is Elise very much wants to still do design work. So she's going to be overseeing that team, but she's also still going to be a designer. So we basically gained a designer. Yay. Josh is overseeing the IT side. So Josh is going to be overseeing the help desk side of things. So these are the people that you should reach out to, or the generic email addresses moving forward. So that's it. Elise is on a family trip. It was pre-planned. And Josh had some stuff going on at his house this morning. Maybe pre-planned, maybe not. But they are here and available for you. So that is all.
It's good to know they're here for us. You're going to go right back up because you're going to do KV Core in half a second. Hey, and we also, Vincent pointed out that Chris Griffin had started with us as our building assistant guy. He's also not here. Everyone's got Vince's schedule these days. So that's Chris. Chris has been great. He's done a tremendous job for us already. So we're very happy to have him. He's been a great addition to the team. Now, Maggie, you want to talk about KV Core? Hey, right back up here. Thanks for showing.
Yep. I'm here. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I have no slides. All right. Poor guy. All right, so let's talk about BHHS Connect or KV Core. You're going to see it called both things. I sent out the pilot group information yesterday or last night. So if you've not logged into your email this morning, if you are participating in that pilot group, you should have access to it today. We plan on running that pilot for just a couple of weeks, getting some feedback from some of the agents, going through maybe some of the stumbling blocks, which we think we know them all, but we're still kind of working through some of those things. It's a new technology. Please know there is going to be a little bit of bumps along the way. But again, the CRM itself is smart AI powered CRM. So you're going to load your clients in there. You're going to load your contacts, your leads. It is automatically going to nurture and drip to that sphere. So, and you can text, you can email out of the platform, you can sign them up for smart campaigns. You can see what they're looking at on your website. You can see when they're creating new searches. It's very, very powerful. And that's just the base. So on top of that, there are what I would call other layers to the platform that we will be introducing throughout the year. And that's going to be things like smart ads or property boosts so you can get new leads, how to use Google, pay-per-click, things like that to get new leads. It also has a CMA program that you can use to present CMAs. So all of this is coming. I would imagine that those welcome emails for the entire company are going to come out before our next sales meeting. So that's probably why we need to talk about it today. One of the things with BHHS Connect is all of their training, a lot of it is, not all of it, is online. So it's all at your own pace. And the idea is that once you complete that agent quick start, you should be 90% of the way there on how to use the platform. Now, I know not everybody wants to sit down and watch videos. So I'm sure there's going to be some in-office sessions, some watch parties, some hands-on training on little bits and pieces. But if you're looking today to start, that's going to be your best place to get logged in and get started on the platform. So it's going to be a lot, but it is a very, very powerful tool. And we're already seeing success with leads being generated, clients being, I guess, reintroduced to their agent, kind of throughout the other home services companies. So. Is that good? I think it's fine.
All right to me. We wanted to briefly talk about go back because the season's starting again to talk about the differences between broker exclusive and no show. Can I put a sign in a no show? Anyone? Yes. Yes, but it has to say coming soon on it. And so if I'm going to do it coming soon, I can advertise a coming soon as much as I want, but I can't show it. That's what that means. I can't show it. So I can. Heather? Right. You have to have a signed listing agreement with the no-show addendum attached to it, because we have to submit it to the MLS because they put it into the system. It doesn't accrue days on the market, but it is in the system as a no-show. And then that means it can be there. Frankly, there is no limit on that rule. It can be there for a year or more. What's that? You can put up photos. You can do it. You can do a whole tour of the property if you want to with pictures. You can do Matterport. You can do whatever you want. You can advertise it as much as you want. You can put it on Zillow. You can put it on Facebook. You can advertise it. You can do all that. You just can't show it. That's the rule. You can't show it. And until it goes active in the market, it does not accrue days on the market. Okay. Okay. So I knew we were going to go there. So what's the rule? The Real Estate Commission's rule is what? If you get an offer, you have to present it. It doesn't matter what the status of the property is. If you get an offer, you have to present it. And so if they present you an offer and it's a no-show and your client wants to take it, they have the right to take it. Now, what people do is, because of the no-show rule, is that they'll put something in there saying, hey, we have the right to tour it, inspect it, do a walkthrough within 24 hours and determine whether we're going to accept it or not. That's okay too. You just can't show it for showing purposes. You'd have to have an accepted contract before you showed it to somebody. So that is okay within the rules. Now, remember, you have to update within 48 hours. If you accept a contract, you have to pend it. If you are no-show with a contract and an inspection where they go, well, we're not going to move forward on the house, then technically you can go back into no-show at that point because you haven't pended it and you didn't technically show it. You showed it as part of a contract for someone to go through it. Broker exclusives. Can I put a sign in the yard on a broker exclusive? No, you can't do anything with a broker exclusive. You can only advertise it internally within this brokerage. You can't call your friend at NP Dodge about it. You can't tell somebody else about it. And, it's kind of a matter of trust for our own agents to keep this information within our brokerage, because if that information gets out, and it happens, and they alert, the Great Plains MLS, we are obligated to put it live, active in the market in 24 hours, whether our client likes it or not. And most of our clients don't like it. They don't want it in there. They didn't want it in there for a very specific reason. And generally it's privacy, or keep control over it and not have it open to everybody. And so there are reasons to have broker exclusives. And so you've got to be careful with that. It's important for you to keep that information within our own brokerage. And so you can't advertise on the Facebook coming soon or the Facebook, what's the one called? It's even called like, there's a Facebook pocket listing thing. Every time anyone posts anything on that, that is a violation of the rule, and it would be required to be put into the MLS within 24 hours. And there are agents in town who have turned us in for that, because they get frustrated that they know about it, and then we say you can't show it, and so they just turn it in. And when we're at that point, we're obligated to put it in the MLS, whether we like it or not. And so it's very important to be careful about that kind of stuff. Anything else that I'm missing?
Question.
Yes, Heather, question?
And I have one of my agents sell it. Can I put a sold sign in the yard, or can I advertise it on Facebook?
So if you sell one, you sell a broker exclusive, the rule in the MLS is that you can't advertise it because you told them that you weren't going to advertise it. You weren't going to put it in. You can do an addendum, and we have in a form that the seller can sign if they want to, that says it's okay to, we will cancel our office exclusive. You have the right to put it in the MLS and show that it pended, which is kind of contrary to the whole point of doing it.
Oh, for a no-show, you don't have to cancel your listing agreement and get a new one. It automatically.
On a no-show? Yeah, right. You can move right into active on a no-show. On a broker exclusive, you have to actually cancel it before you can go into the market, because you've told them that you're waiving your rights to not go into the MLS. And so broker exclusives ideally is there, you know, your thought was, I'm never going to go in the MLS. Now I know that that's not everyone's plan, but if you want to do that, you have to terminate that broker exclusive addendum. No show, it's fine. They're waiting. The assumption is you're going to go active. Daryl?
But by just writing a new listing agreement, that terminates the broker.
Right. That's another way of doing it too. You can just do a new listing agreement, start over again, and go right into the MLS. Daisy?
Learn though, that market tracker that some people check, I don't. but
Yep.
people do.
It does show days. Yep.
Well, and it doesn't show up. So if you check that every day,
Yeah.
and you are coming soon, the day you go live, it doesn't show up on.
If you resubmit and put it in there, it won't on market tracker go in.
Apparently, if you just leave it as a coming soon, and then the day you flip it live,
Okay.
it doesn't show up if it's past like, 5 days or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I mean, I guess we can
I don't know if there's a way
See,
to fix that.
there might be. We'll have to figure that out. It's supposed to, because once you change status, it's supposed to go, syndicate out to everybody that it's gotten active.
But it doesn't show up on that little thing that some people rely on.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Take a look at, try to figure it out.
There's something for you to do. You're on that, right?
What's market tracker? What's up?
On the broker exclusive, even after it's closed.
Yes.
For statistical purposes, you cannot put it in the MLS.
If you are in a broker exclusive and you have done the addendum and you submit it to the MLS, you can't advertise it to anyone outside of the brokerage, no matter what status it's in, unless you get basically a termination of that broker exclusive addendum that allows you to go into the MLS. And we've had several agents who've done it. The seller didn't care at that point. They only cared about it before. Other questions about no-show broker exclusive? Okay, let's talk about wholesaling. Is Fred here? Okay, we'll keep it quiet. Assignability of contracts. Nebraska is a freely assignable state. And so under Nebraska law, if I'm a buyer and I have a contract, I have the right to assign that contract to somebody else, whether the seller likes it or doesn't like it. It's not up to the seller. It can be up to the seller if you have very tight language within your contract that says this contract isn't assignable without the permission of the seller. And even some of that under Nebraska law says that doesn't even hold up, that, we are a freely assignable state. I guess it was brought up in a mastermind yesterday. Is that where it came up? Mastermind yesterday, Joe was in, where we were talking about, does that release the first buyer? Buyer one assigns it to buyer two, and buyer two is buyer one released. Buyer one isn't released in the sense that they walk away from it. They are just basically assigning it to a second party, saying this second party is the one who's going to bring the money and they're going to close. If that second buyer breaches the contract, that buyer one, that assigning buyer, still has some underlying liability in that contract. They are not free unless they get something from a seller saying, yep, you're released. It's fully assigned to this party. We agree. You're no longer a party to it whatsoever, because it's what's called kind of legal liability that's underlying this contract. Because even though I've assigned it, I'm still relying on that second buyer to meet the terms of that contract. If they don't, I'm still primarily liable under that contract without a release from that seller. And so you see a lot in this. We actually just had one of these happen in Norfolk where, we had a wholesaler, they signed it and they said, well, we're not moving forward. We couldn't find someone else to take it. And so but they were still primarily liable under that contract. And so now there's a dispute out there between them as to what that means. What else were we going to talk about assignability, Jay?
Well, it came up because of Lindsay Goldman.
Yes, Lindsay. Well, yeah.
What happens with permission?
Right. Right. Yeah. And so, the question is look, and remember, the Real Estate Commission just put out rules that wholesaling became part of the Real Estate Commission's rules and regulations, requiring an agent be the person marketing that equitable interest in the contract. You have to have it. Now there's a form that the Real Estate Commission requires that you get the seller, the original seller, to sign, saying, hey, look, we're not your agent. We're going to sign this, and it, might go for more money. And so that's the disclosure within that. And there's also agency disclosure form that you have to have signed too, to say what your role is as the wholesaler. And so one of the things that happened was that we had a listing and we had a buyer, and they wrote the successful offer, and the second buyer came along and said, look, I want this property. I'm willing to pay you, buyer one, to go away and assign it to me. And the question became, which is freely, that's fine under the law, that's okay. If you can make that work, you can do that. The question was, how does the commission get paid? Well, in that case, it's still the buyer, the first buyer agent who's going to get paid the commission based off of the original purchase price. If the second buyer wants to make some sort of arrangement with their own agent about how they're going to get paid for bringing that deal, then that's separate and apart from that deal. And so, you know, it's important to get that paperwork taken care of so everyone's very clear on who's getting paid and who's not going to get paid. Because you're going to have buyer's agents who try to, you know, come in on that wholesale agreement and go, well, I'm entitled to the entire commitment. No, you're not. You're entitled to your portion of that, which is probably the amount paid over the original purchase price to make that work. So again, these are good questions for us if you get into this situation, so we can put something together for you so you are protected. Other things? Questions? Heather?
That'll be inspection for professional purposes again.
Okay.
Maybe they have.
I think again, when people put inspection for informational purposes only, I don't truly know what that legally means because no one has taken it to court to figure it out because that would be crazy. But the question is does that, you know, what am I reserving? And what I say is, you know, if you're going to write what you want, not, you know, be very clear. And I get we're trying to keep the deal together, but if you want to reserve the right to get out of that contract, if you find the property unacceptable, I think you should write that in there. You should write for information purposes only, you know, buyer reserves the right to get out of the contract and have the earnest deposit if the property is not acceptable. So for me, you know, informational purposes only should be focused on, you're not going to come back to that seller and say, I want you to fix these 12 things. It's supposed to be either you're taking it or you're leaving it. And if you're a seller and your point is this is an inspection that this contract is not contingent on in any way, then you need to have that in there too, which is, hey, it's for informational purposes only, but you don't have the right to get out under whatever you find in that inspection. So if you're the seller, you got to tighten it up that way. If you're the buyer, you want to reserve, you know, make sure that you have an exit off the road if this property isn't acceptable, and be very clear about that because it's not worth the fight. Trust me. What else was I supposed to do?
One more thing.
Heather?
Changing the timeline on inspections, you have to change the timeline on the resolution.
Right. Do you?
Should.
You should. I mean, you should, if you're going to tighten up the timelines, because it's sort of strange if you put, you know, I've got 5 days to get my inspections done and respond back to the seller, but then the seller still has 14 days on top of that, or 18 days to get back to you after that. So if you're going to tighten up the timelines, make sure you're tightening up all the timelines. Denise?
On the inspections, like let's say you're representing your listing and now on the purchase agreement, it doesn't show what inspections they're gonna have. I know we have that form that lists them.
Yes.
If you don't like necessarily like the verbiage on that actual form with all of them listed, like let's
Right.
say you just wanted to have whole house inspection, radon, maybe, and that's about it on there. Can we change that?
Well, you know, think the default under the contract is any and all inspections you want to do.
Right, but if we like literally wanted our listing, like.
Yeah.
Just to say, we're okay with inspection, like home inspection, we're okay with the radon.
Right.
Can we,
You could just write in,
Make
you
our
could write in the
addendum.
paragraph blank if you want to limit the inspections that you're going to do.
I kind of like to, like, I just had this problem with the listing, and so I was like, I'd like to have it in my, like in my loop anymore, like on the MLS in my documents. But I like to specify, like, this is what I'm having, but I don't really like all that listed out.
Okay.
That base, all this and blah, blah, because I feel like some of it just puts it in their head, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wondering, if I can make my own addendum that says, that can go into the MLS saying.
And of course, if you don't say anything, it doesn't
Right,
say anything at all.
exactly.
So it's completely up to what they think in their minds as to what inspections they want to do. So,
If you represent the listing, you go ahead and counter back, you know.
Right, I just feel like it's so, that form is just so like.
yeah, remember, it's
push on it,
a negotiation. You know,
right?
You can tighten up the language as much as you want and say what they can do and can't do.
Fill out that form, they don't have to stick to it.
Right. They don't have to say that for me either. Gary?
Termite inspection considered part of the property inspection as far as the time frame.
Well, it's its own clause and it has its own terms within it as to what it is. And termite's always been thought of kind of separately just because a lot of lenders have required them for years and years. And so even if I default, you know, you could terminate your mortgage application within a second of trying to get rid of the termite inspection because you didn't want to ask for it. And the lenders go, no, this is a requirement for us to underwrite under Fannie Mae guidelines. So other questions? TJ, how are you? How's that duplex going?
Beautiful.
Oh, fantastic.
Who writes all these forms that everyone's complaining about?
Heather. Where else are we gonna go? What are we doing now? Melanie with ATS. Melanie. I did it out of order. Sorry.
Sorry, that's okay.
Okay, I just have three really quick things. Just to remind everybody, Ambassador Title has bilingual closers. So if you need us, call. Ambassador Agent One, the third Tuesday of every month at 1:00, there's training right here. So today is the third Tuesday of the month. So at 1:00 today, if you would like to learn more about our Palm Agent and what you've got at your fingertips, I have yet to run across an agent that knew all of the stuff that's on here. In fact, I'm learning from a lot of you as agents when you guys accidentally hit a button and you're like, oh, wow, that does that. So today at 1, if you haven't been on this, it might be worth your while. It is renewable based on your relationship with Ambassador Title. This was created by Ambassador Title and our underwriters to bring value to you. But if you guys are using it, you guys are like saying it's like bread and butter. It's pretty cool. So I have been reaching out to the mastermind groups. I would still like to get in front of all of the mastermind groups. So schedule something with me. I'd like to get in front of every single one of you. So if you have not sat down with me and you cannot make it on a Tuesday, call me and schedule an appointment. So, and a lot of it, Jay and Vince have actually shown some of the marketing pieces that are available. You could actually do marketing at a stoplight. It's that easy. So, and then my last thing is just real quick, I'm a twin, and my twin back home is trying to help a family by selling Casey's pizza cards for $20. She's done and cannot do any more businesses in small town Sibley or Worthington, Minnesota. She's gone to every door she could. So if anybody likes Casey's Pizza or has kids going off to college, anything like that, for $15, you can have 10 punches. All you have to do is buy one large and you get the next medium single topping for free. So it's like $180 value for $15. So if you guys want to help out, it's a fundraiser for these a family that they're two boys. Within like 2 months of each other, they both went blind. And so now these kids can't find their friends at recess. They need all new school equipment, Braille, stuff at home. So if you like Casey's Pizza, let me know. Thank you.
Carrie, you want to do events? Okay, fine.
Go ahead.
All right. Time for upcoming events. We have the volleyball league that starts tonight, 6:30 at the Mark. Come out and hang. Sunshine Kids Golf Tournament, June 12th. Sign up for that. We've got Ambassador Academy coming up. Stacy Mueller is going to be there April 25th. You ready, Stacy? Nope. Tasha Moss will be May 2nd. Gary Carpenter has an event. Do we have a date on that?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday. Easy enough. And then we're going to have a tentative grill off on May 18th. Be on the lookout for more details. Good Guy Award. Megan Owens. Megan. Bill. Family Day at Mahoney is at June 9th. Emails and board. Bill promises a good time. You can take that to the bank. Hey, Megan.
Okay, I was super thankful to get this from my friend Lori Paul. I'm excited to pass along to this well-deserving agent. This person is the epitome of class, grace, and dedication to not only her clients, but also to our industry as a whole. She's extremely hardworking, has a genuinely kind heart. She's full of integrity and always has a smile on her face. She continuously leads by example, and we should all definitely take a page from her book on how to be one of the good guys like Marie Otis.
No words from Marie. Just knocked out. Too much. Too emotional. All right, we're done. Thanks, everybody.
Ricky.